Did you know that the rise of the carnivore diet is something like that of Bitcoin, and that as we see it, it is going to go through 6 main stages, and these are the 6 main stages of any cultural, social, or political revolution. And by understanding these 6 stages, you'll be able to tell the future of carnivore diet. The carnivore diet has come out of its roots of being underground and is now trying to go mainstream, but it's facing a lot of opposition. But this is only something that's temporary. You see, when something like this starts up, this is the making of something revolutionary. And as we study history, there are 6 main steps that cause a revolution. Carnivore diet is well on the way to starting that trend. So let's start off with stage number 1, going underground. Any revolution starts with an underground movement. Do you remember the times when Bitcoin was 10 cents? No, you didn't, because back then Bitcoin was in the dark web. You had to be able to find it and be able to pay, and those times were hard. Likewise in carnivore, there are those guys that are coming out of the woodwork that say they've been doing carnivore for 30 years, 20 years, 40 years. Where have these people been? They have been the guys setting up the underground structures of the movement. People who have worked hard tirelessly, not knowing that people one day would catch on to it. And if we had, we'd all be Bitcoin millionaires by now, because we would have bought Bitcoin at 10 cents or even less. This stage is triggered by underground grievances. People are not happy with the status quo. In the Bitcoin world, people are not happy with the fact that money has to be controlled by central governments. Likewise, we are not happy that healthcare is largely politicized and that nutrition has become a political bargaining chip. People are not happy with the way that obesity rates have gone up, diabetes rates, heart disease rates, and all of these things, how they're just going up through the roof. There's a sense of dissatisfaction and feeling that we're being used by the big guys to get what they want. And this is what sparks the crisis for people to start thinking differently. Stage 2, the wild, wild west. As a solution comes up, whether it's Bitcoin or carnivore diet, people then tend to take it to the wild, wild west. People go wild and do all sorts of crazy things. And we heard all about those crypto scams and all these exchanges that have closed because people were robbing people of their money. And it's the same in the carnivore diet. And we have the likes of Liver King, who pretended that he got his gains eating naturally raw liver. It was a bit extreme and it was a bit out there, but these are the things that happened in every revolution. In this stage, you find that traditional structures start to get challenged, whether it's the banks or in this case, the nutritional industry. And there's a lot of skepticism around in the market because of these wild, wild west characters. But then we go to stage 3, early adoption. People are still a little bit skeptical about what's going on, but they start to think about it rationally and see that there actually is merit to what is going on in this situation. You have 1 or 2 brave people who champion the cause, even though they might look foolish or might be misconstrued as the wild, wild west type in stage 2. In revolutionary terms, you see that people are starting to create alternative structures of how they love to see things done. And these structures will run parallel to the existing structures. And this is where I believe we are in the carnivore diet. In crypto terms, this is where we saw the likes of Binance and big crypto exchanges that were legitimate start to come out. And for us in the carnivore space, we're seeing people like Dr. Sean Baker come up with this company, Rivero. We're seeing lots of people talking about the carnivore diet who are very educated people. We're seeing money being raised for randomized human control trials. We're seeing things start to take shape a little bit in the carnivore industry. And this is when the greatest opportunities are found in any revolution. And this is what leads us to stage 4. I like to call this stage the proof of concept stage. Whatever is happening is starting to take off. It's gaining wider adoption out there. More people are being interested in it, and more people are actually saying, okay, this might not be a fad. Let's look into it. And they're seeing that development is starting to happen around this. In carnivore, it's a case of more controlled, randomized trials are coming out of the data and saying that, okay, red meat isn't bad for you after all. Oh, not having fiber, no problem whatsoever. And all these things that, you're not going to get scurvy from no vitamin C. And as these studies start to come out, and as people's testimonies and lifestyles are shown of how they have survived so long on a carnivore diet, and these are verified non-liver king kind of stories, then people will take interest. In the crypto space, it was the development of all these exchanges and wallets and payment processes that made people think that, no, there's actually a thing here. And then the opening of places like Coinbase, where the average person can now buy Bitcoin from their phone or from the comfort of their home, that is when people started to think and take crypto seriously. And that is what I see happening for Carnivore Diet in the next couple of years, that people will take it seriously. People won't laugh and think that it's a fad diet as all the other fad diets that have come and gone, just like all the other technology ideas have come and gone before Bitcoin and before cryptocurrency. But now it's here to stay. In this stage, though, there's a lot of violence that comes from the old establishment, that banks will kick back when it comes to crypto. Doctors and nutritionists and vegans will go all crazy about the carnivore diet and about all this news that's coming out, and they'll be crying, saying that the sky is about to fall on their heads. But the reality is, the momentum at this point would have shifted. The revolution will be way underway. And this ushers in a season of transition from the old ways, the old nutritional way of thinking, the old food pyramid, to the new carnivore food pyramid, or to the new meat-based pyramid that many people will see the light for. And this will take us to stage 5, regulatory evolution. In all of this, we all know that government is always last to the party. The regulators come in and say, okay, this is the new evidence that we are seeing, this is the utility, we're seeing that the private sector has moved. Let us now react. Let us get into it. Let us back it. And you find the same with cryptocurrency, that even governments now are looking to start up their own cryptocurrencies, and they're looking into the blockchain even more and more. And you've seen that they've actually started to adopt these things that they once feared. One day, in the future of the carnivore diet, the governments will start to recognize that they're losing money in healthcare bills that they shouldn't be paying in the first place, that people are getting healthier outcomes because of eating a meat-based diet. They're finding that people are more productive because they're eating more meat. And because they're more productive, they're paying more tax and they're making more money. And the less sick people are and the more healthy they are, the more they contribute to the economy, the more likely the government is going to be willing to endorse it. So what does that mean? Stage 5 is when new institutions are formed to back up this new revolution. Yes, there will be counter-revolutionary strikes that will try reverse the gains of the revolution, but those are only the last kicks of a dying horse, because the future is here, whether you like it or not. Then stage 6, mainstream acceptance. This is where the lasting changes are made, and we haven't gotten there yet with cryptocurrency, and we obviously are far from it as well when it comes to the carnivore diet. But for every revolution, these are the 6 steps that they've gone through. Political, social, and cultural landforms are changed forever. We have a new status quo, a new way of thinking, a new dynamic in life. And they'll grow up to be a generation that didn't know how things used to be. And that's so exciting that we get to be early adopters in this revolution for healthy lifestyles and for taking our healthcare back into our own hands and not being slaves to the big guys, whether it's big pharma, big medicine, or all these guys that want you to be sick. Those that want you to be unwell, those that want you to be obese because they can sell you medication that you can take to lose weight. The status quo is not driven by love, but rather by the love of money and by power. The food industry would love it for you to drink how many sodas a day. They would love you to buy their processed foods instead of eating the food that God created, all natural. They'd rather have you eat manufactured meat that comes from a lab. They'd rather you pay for the licensing of their patents with your own health and your own life and that of your families. You see, the revolution is here whether you like it or not. And this is the future of the carnivore diet. The reality is you need to decide what you want to do. Will you hang on to the old way of life and be left behind? Or will you charge on and go ahead and try something new, try something different, and enjoy the adventure of your life? So if that's you, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, try this video over here. I think you might like it. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.